Good morning student, myself Melissa Akla, and today our subject design of precast concrete structure. We solve the example of pre-tension beam. Okay, before starting the example, we read the given data. Design of pre-tension beam. Example number 1. Design pre-tension beam for following data. Effective span is equal to 8 meter. Applied load is equal to 4 kilonewton per meter. Load factor for dead load is 1.4 and for live load is 1.6. Concrete cube strength FCU is equal to 50 Newton per mm square. Cube strength at transfer FCI is equal to 30 Newton per mm square. Tensile strength of concrete FT is equal to 1.7 Newton per mm square. Modulus of elasticity of concrete EC is equal to 35 kilonewton per mm square. Loss ratio eta is equal to 0.80. Permissible stresses at transfer condition. Compressive stress FCT is equal to 15 Newton per mm square and tensile stresses FTT is equal to 1 Newton per mm square. At service load, compressive stress is FCW is equal to 16 Newton per mm square and tensile stress FTW is equal to 0. And 7 mm high tensile steel wire having ultimate tensile strength FPU is equal to 1600 Newton per mm square are available for use. Now here we start the design. First of all, we find out ultimate moment and shear. W minimum, that is minimum load, and ultimate dead load is equal to K dc into gravitational acceleration, then beta ratio of L by H into L divided by FCU d by H square. Now here K is equal to 6 to 7.5 for rectangle and I girder for short span. K is equal to 7.5 we consider. Then density of concrete is equal to 2400 kg per meter cube. Okay, here we consider this is our kg per meter cube. Okay, G is equal to 9.81. Beta is equal to moment of coefficient, that is 0.125. Okay, this value is 0.125 for simply supported beam. L by H is equal to 25 for simply supported beam, and FCU is equal to cube strength of concrete, that is 50 Newton per mm square, and ratio of this D by H is equal to 0.85. Then gamma F1 is equal to 1.6, this is the factor multiply. Then gamma F2 is equal to 1.4. This is already discussed in theory portion. Okay, now K 7.5, density of concrete 2400, gravitational acceleration 9.81 meter per second square. Then beta coefficient 0.125, 25 into 8 divided by FCU, that is 50. D by H is equal to 0.85 square, and convert this 10 raised to 6. Our answer is 0.122. Now WUD is equal to gamma F1 into Q divided by gamma F2 ratio of W minimum divided by W ultimate design load. Now gamma F1 is equal to 1.6 and Q is equal to 4 divided by 1 minus 1.4 into 0.122, 7.72 kilonewton per meter, and ratio of this minimum load and ultimate design load is 0.122. Then minimum load is equal to 0.122 into this 7.72, that is equal to 0.94 kilonewton per meter. Okay, now we find out moment, that is WL square by 8. W is equal to 7.72 and span is equal to 8 square divided by 8, 61.76 kilonewton into meter. Then ultimate shear force is equal to WL square by 8, that is this is WL by 8. Okay, this is WL by, and this is 7.72 into 8, that is 30.88. okay, this one is WL by 2. okay, please correct it, this one is WL by 2. Now W is equal to load 7.72 into 8 divided by 2, 30.88 kilonewton into meter. Then moment due to dead load is W L square by 8.94 L square by 8, 30, 88 into kilonewton into meter. MQ is the moment due to live load, W L square by 8. Again this one is the 30.88 kilonewton into meter. Now the cross section dimension, according to our Bennett equation, mu is equal to 0.1 FCU BD square. Here we take width is equal to 0.5 d. This one is the simply assumption according to this Bennett equation. Mu, here we find out 61.76 10 to 6 is equal to 0.1. Then FCU is equal to 50, BV assume 0.5 d and d square. dq is equal to 24.70 10 to 6. After solving, we find out depth 291.24 mm and we have to take a round up value d is equal to 300 mm. Now ratio of this d by h is equal to 0.85. Here h is equal to 300 divided by 0.85 and answer is 352.94 mm, and we take again round up value, that is 360 mm overall depth. Now we assume that width b is equal to 0.5 d. 0.5 effective depth we take 300, so 150 mm is the width of flange. Okay, look at this one is the width of flange. Thickness of flange is 0.2 d, 0.2 into 360. Okay, this one is the thickness means depth of flange. We assume 60 mm. Since sloping flanges are used to increase flange thickness by 20%, average thickness of flange is equal to 1.2 into 60, that is 72 mm, or we can take 75 also. So if you provide a sloping eye girder, then this is 60, but the average sloping depth or thickness of flange is 75 mm according to this equation. Now approximate thickness of web, that is 0.85 VU divided by FT into H. 0.85 VU 30.88 into 10 raised to cube divided by FT, that is tensile stress of concrete 1.7, H is equal to 360. Overall depth of section 42.88 mm. Adopt width of web is equal to 50 mm. Property of symmetrical eye sections are area, two flanges are there, 2 into 150 into 75, then web 210 into 50. Overall area of this eye girder is 33,000 mm square. Now next we find out moment of inertia, that is BD cube by 12 minus small bd cube by 12, 150. Overall depth cube by 12, then 100 minus 200 cube by 12, and the answer is 506 into 10 raised to 6 mm raised to 4. Then we find out section modulus, I by y is equal to 506 into 10 raised to 6 divided by 180, that is equal to 2.81 into 10 raised to 6 mm cube. Now next we find out self-weight of girder. Self-weight of girder is equal to area into density, and this area is given in mm square, so we convert into meter square, 10 raised to minus 6 and 24. Then we get self-weight is 0.792 kilonewton per meter, and this self-weight is less than of 0.94 kilonewton per meter, that we find out. Minimum section modulus, find this value. First of all we find out wrench stresses. FBR is equal to eta FCZ minus FTW. Eta is equal to 0.85, FCZ is equal to 50, and FTW is equal to 0. Then FBR is equal to 12 Newton per mm square. Then next we find out FTR. FTR is equal to FCW minus eta into FTD. 16 minus 0.8 into minus 1. is equal to 16.8 Newton per mm square, that is FTR. Now minimum section modulus ZB is equal to MQ plus 1 minus eta mg divided by FBR. MQ, that means moment due to live load, 32 into 10 raised to 6, 1 minus 0.8, then 7.52 into 10 raised to 6 divided by FBR, bearing stress, is 12. And this minimum section modulus we find 2.79 10 raised to 6 mm cube. This one is the required section modulus. Now ZB is equal to 2.81 10 raised to 6 mm cube. This one is the provided. Okay, look at this. This is 2.81 10 raised to 6 is the provided section modulus, and from this equation we find out required, and the provided section modulus is greater than of required, so section is adequate. Now pre-stressing force and eccentricity we find out. F SUP, that means FTT minus mg divided by ZT. FTT is minus 1, 7.52 into this 10 raised to 6 and 10 raised to 6, 2.81 into 10 raised to 6, that is equal to minus 3.67 Newton per mm square. Okay, this value is 10 raised to 6 raised to, okay, not in multiplication, but this one is given in form of raised to. Now next, F INF, that means here this value is at bottom fiber, that is equal to FTW divided by eta minus summation of mg plus mq, then eta ZB, put all the values. Again here we take care, this is in the form of 10 raised to 6, not 106. Okay, this is 10 raised to 6, 10 raised to 6. Please correct it. After solving that, we get our answer is 17.58 Newton per mm square. Okay, this one is the F supportive and F inferior. Now next we find out minimum force. P is equal to A, then F B ZB plus FT ZT, summation of ZP plus ZT. Again put the all values. We find 229.51 kilonewton. Then number of 7 mm wire initially pre-stressed to 1200 Newton per mm square required. So here we find out how many number of bars are provided. So 7 force is provided, this 229, so 2,29,515. P divided by this area is equal to pi by 4 d square, and here this is 1200 stresses is given. So number is equal to 4.96 and round off is 5 number. Now we find out eccentricity E. Eccentricity E is equal to ZT into ZB, then F B minus FT, then A, here FT into ZT plus FB into ZB, and again put the all the values, and we get eccentricity is equal to 130 mm. Now we check the ultimate flexure strength. For that, first of all we find out area of pre-stressing steel, that is APS. 5 number of wires are given and diameter is 7, so 5 into pi by 4 d square, 192.5 mm square. FPU is equal to 1600 Newton per mm square. FCK and FPU 50 Newton per mm square. B is equal to 150 mm. Then D is equal to 180 plus eccentricity E, 180, eccentricity E we find out 130. So overall effective depth is 310 mm. Effective reinforcement ratio is APS into FPU divided by B into D into FCK, and here area of pre-stressing steel is 192.5, FPU is equal to 1600, B is equal to 150, D 310, and FCK is equal to 50, that 0.132. Now from table 4.1 and table 11, IS 1343 2012 assume that ratio of this FPE divided by FPU is equal to 0.50, FPB divided by 0.87 FPU 1, and XU is equal to 0.287. Here we find out FPB. Look at this, 1 multiplied by this 0.87 and FPU is equal to 1600. So we get 1392 Newton per mm square. XU by D 0.287. These values are finding from the table. Here XU is equal to 0.287 into this depth 310. We get 88.97 mm. Now what is FMU? Ultimate moment is FPB into APS D minus 0.42 XU. 1392, 192.5, 310 minus 0.42 into 88.97, and we get moment 73.05 kilonewton into meter. This is our ultimate moment, that is greater than of 61.76 kilonewton into meter, that we find out first. Actual flexure strength is 73.05 kilonewton into meter, which is more than design ultimate moment. So separate on-tension reinforcement is not required. Okay. Now next, check ultimate shear strength. Here first we check for flexural, now we check for ultimate shear strength. Section at support is uncracked flexural because ultimate shear is equal to 30.88 kilonewton. Effective pre-stress at centroid is equal to FCP is equal to eta P by A. Eta is equal to 0.8 and P is equal to 2,29,515 divided by area of this eye girder 33,000, and FCP we get 5.56 Newton per mm square. And here we check for uncracked section. Ultimate shear resistant VCU is equal to 0.67 BH under root of FT square plus 0.8 FCP into FT. 0.67 into B is equal to 50, H is equal to 360, then under root 1.7 square plus eta 0.8 FCP 5.56, FT is equal to 1.7 and 1/2. After solving we get 38,988 Newton and 38.98 kilonewton is greater than of this VU, ultimate shear, that we find out first. Okay, so it is safe again. Shear failure at support. Assume that at any section ultimate shear resistance is greater than the actual shear. Provide minimum shear reinforcement. Here the SV is equal to 0.87 Fy into ASV divided by 0.4 BW. Fy is equal to 260 Newton per mm square. This is the characteristic strength of stirrups. Then ASV is equal to area of stirrup legs. Here SV we find 222 mm. Then area of stirrups pi by 4 d square. Suppose we assume that diameter of the stirrup bar is 5 mm. So pi by 4 d square 19.63 mm square. And B is given 50 mm. Provide 5 mm mild steel link at spacing of this 200 mm center to center. Now again check for deflection. Young's modulus of concrete is given 35 kilonewton per mm square. Self weight of girder we find 0.792 kilonewton per meter. Live load is given 4 kilonewton per meter. Now the deflection due to self weight plus live load is equal to 5/384 G plus Q L raised to 4 divided by EI. This is the equation of simply supported beam subjected to UDL on entire span. 5/384 G is equal to 0.792, then Q is equal to 4 plus L is equal to 8000 raised to 4 E 35 into 10 raised to Q, then I is equal to 506 into 10 raised to 6. Deflection is 14.43 mm in downward direction. Okay. Now upward deflection is due to pre-stressing force, and that is PEL square divided by 8 EI. P is equal to 2,29,515 eccentricity E we find 130, L is equal to span 8000 mm square 8, then E 35 into 10 raised to cube, I 506 into 10 raised to 6. So this deflection is in upward direction 13.47. Now the long-term modulus of elasticity ECE is equal to E divided by 1 plus 5. Assume that side and soffit of girder are exposed to atmosphere. Assume side and soffit of girder nominal size 2 AC by mu, 2 area of concrete is 33,000, then 2 plus 2 into 360 plus 150, that is 75.86 mm. Assume 15% of relative humidity H at transfer of 28 days, and from IS code 1343/2012 page number 6, Crib coefficient phi is given 2.795. So 1 plus 5 is equal to 1 plus 2.975, 3.975. The final deflection AIL 14.43 mm, AIP is equal to 13.47 mm, PT by PI is equal to 0.8 ratio, loss ratio. Then AF is equal to AIL minus AIP into PT by PI 1 plus 5. AIL 14.43 minus 13.47, then ratio 0.8, 1 plus 5 is equal to 3.975, and we get 14.52 mm. Okay, and the permissible deflection according to our code L divided by 250, span 8000 divided by 250 is 32 mm. This clause is given IS 1343/2012 clause 20.3.1. Here the actual deflection is 14.52 and according to code it is permissible 32 mm. So the actual deflection is less than of permissible deflection 32 mm. That means here the deflection is within safe criteria. Okay, now our example is complete, and in next session we solve the post tension beam. Okay, just now we stop.